To be an expert in something, in just about anything, takes 10,000 hours of study or practice of most things. When you start talking about food and gastronomy, you're talking about all these different little parts. And we all know, for example, that tomatoes were invented in Umbria 3,000 years ago. We were brought over by Columbus. So the problem is, who do you trust? I mean, it's sort of what Alfredo was saying. I mean, you have to know who's talking to you. I mean, all my life I've been a journalist. I've been a foreign correspondent, and I've covered war and peace and all sorts of bullshit. But human beings, and I'm really not an expert in anything. I'm an expert in experts. I've kind of learned how to go to people I trust. I've learned how to determine what's not really true. So I'm kind of what, we call an accidental foodie. So you asked about my olives. I spend a lot of time covering, really ugly situations, wars and families and things. So I bought a little piece of Provence, a little property. And I bought about 4 hectares, I guess, a little less. And my neighbors were saying, well, you have some really beautiful olives. And I said, what? The land looks so much like Cambodia. It was this total jungle that looked so much like Cambodia that I took some pictures of it, and then I added a few pictures of Angkor Wat, and no one can tell the difference because it was a ruined farmhouse. It was just a old tree. So when I cleared the land, I restored these olives that were 400 or 500 years old back to life. And I just fell in love with the olive. And then I started going around and meeting the tribe of olive people. I mean, I came, first everybody talks about Tuscany, and then, obviously, then I came here, I went to Cambodia, I went to Greece, I was covering Bosnia, so I went to Serbia and Croatia, where there's some fabulous trees. I went to Jerusalem, at the Mount of Tomatoes and the Mount of Olives. And I learned a lot about olives. So I started writing this book for a fairly good publisher in America, and I was halfway through it, and the guy says, well, yeah, okay, really interesting stuff, but what about olive oil? What about food? And I said, oh yeah, you can eat this stuff. So then I started writing about food, and the book was published, and I got a call from the publisher saying, well, congratulations, you just won a James Beard Award, which, I know now is like the big award for writing food. I'm looking after Pulitzers, not James Beard. And then suddenly I was a food writer, and I started writing a book about chocolate, and I got some award for that. And what I learned was, and then I got really, because I always liked food, and I got interested in it and started learning. What I learned was, writing about food is like writing about anything. And you really have to know your experts, and then you develop your own certain expertise in certain things. So getting back to the question, and getting back to the answer, you have to know, it doesn't matter whether it's a blog, it doesn't matter whether it's printed, it doesn't matter where it comes from, but you have to know who's talking to you, what that person knows. If the person says, as you say, if the person says, I like it, I don't like it, who gives a damn? Why? Tell me about it. Tell me its background. Tell me, find the vocabulary, find the